Hi, friends. So I was looking at Matthew today, and we know how Jesus healed those that were sick, those that had diseases, those who are paralyzed. We know he performed all these miracles, right? And then I used to always wonder this when I was the beginning of my Bible study journey, like 6 years ago. I always wondered this. Like if you look at Matthew 5 verses 3, it says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs in the kingdom of heaven." Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I used to always wonder, why does it say blessed is the poor? And then it says, blessed are those that mourn. Blessed are those that are meek. Blessed are those that hunger and thirst. Blessed are those that have pure hearts. Blessed are the peacemakers. So I used to always wonder, why does it say blessed are the poor? Blessed are that hunger and thirst. And it makes you wonder, do I have to be hungry and thirsty and poor to be blessed? And I think a lot of times what people don't understand is that when Jesus was describing these people, he was describing them of how they were at that time. That's how he met them at the time. So if he met someone, they were poor at that time, poor in spirit, someone that was hungry at the time, and he's saying that you're still blessed, even if you're in that circumstance. Isn't that so amazing? That is so amazing. Like, even though he saw them, say someone that's poor, struggling, hungry, thirsty, they're still considered blessed. He was describing the situation that they're in, right? You don't have to be in that situation to be blessed. It's just he was describing them of how they were at that moment. So if we look at Matthew 5 verses 6, it says, "Blessed are the ones that hunger and thirst after righteousness." And that's really hard to always do the right thing, especially if you're being pressured or, you know, you feel like you're by yourself on your own, but at the end of the day to still do the right thing, because, you know, we know the difference between right and wrong. And it's amazing to still be able to do the right thing, even if we're not looking, right? Like the example we talked about a while ago, like the woman in the well, when Jesus was describing all of her husbands, her partners, he asked for water. She wouldn't give him water. He said, "If you know who I am, you would give me water, because that water, that well will make you thirst, but my water will never make you thirst if you knew who I am." And when he described all of her past experience, all her husbands that she dated, why they divorced and stuff like that, then she realized, oh, you are a Messiah, the Son of God. You are Jesus. So we shouldn't have to know who someone is to do the right thing. Like, we shouldn't have to be watched to do the right thing. We should do the right thing regardless, right? So the righteousness. Blessed are the ones that have pure hearts, especially as you get older. You go through things, you go through obstacles, relationship, family, any kind of situation, job. You get a lot of stuff in life, and you get you get disappointed a lot in life. And sometimes people let it affect them, and they become bitter, they become angry, they become resentful, they become hardened. To be able to go through all those obstacles and still have a pure heart and still have like childlike behavior, because he wants us to have childlike behavior, but not childish. Still childlike, free spirit, having fun, loving life. To still be able to have that and still have a pure heart and not be hardened, that is so a blessing. That's what I ask for all the time, to still give me a pure heart, to still have fun, to not be resentful. And that's why I love the scripture so much, because it teaches you so much and gives you so much healing. If you can forgive those that hurt you, if you can not judge, to teach about judgment. If you judge, you'll be judged in the same measures. If you learn about taming the tongue, as life and death in the power of the tongue, and what you say about yourself and others, when you learn all about this and the renewing of your mind, you're going to have a pure heart, because you're working on these things, and you know that from what the scripture says. And it's such a blessing, because it will give you a pure heart. You'll still be joyful. You'll still be happy. Like if someone mistreats me or mistreats you, and you forgive them, you still love them, you have boundaries, you keep your distance, but you know, you have to have respect for yourself. But if you keep your distance and you forgive them because you want to be forgiven, the scripture says forgive 70 times 7, they can give you a pure heart. You're free. You know, they're not in your mind. You don't have any hate. You know, it says love your neighbors as you love yourself. So I think all of that is just so beautiful. The scripture just, it renews your mind, renews your heart, and it just gives you a pure heart, because it's teaching you the practice of how we should be living our lives. And it's so amazing. And to still have a pure heart after all the obstacles you've gone through is an amazing feeling, right? It's an amazing feeling. You know, you see people all the time, you know, they go through so many things in their life. You won't be able to tell because they're so happy, they're so joyful, and they're so fun to be around with and easygoing, just amazing people. And you wouldn't imagine the stuff that they went through because they still have a pure heart. And that's an amazing feeling to have. And then it also says, blessed are the peacemakers. You know how hard it is to be a peacemaker? Say you have two friends fighting and you understand this perspective and then that perspective, and you try to be a peacemaker. It's easier to take sides because at least you'll have one person hate you and one person on not your side. But to be a peacemaker, it's hard, and it takes strength to do that because you might have both of them hate you. But blessed are the peacemakers, because it takes courage. It takes courage to be like, I understand your perspective, I understand your perspective, and you can just agree to disagree. And sometimes they want you to take sides, especially if it's like friendship, relationship, work, whatever it might be. They want you to take sides in groups and stuff like that. In my personal life, I don't take sides. I love to be a peacemaker. I always try to say, I understand your perspective, because I really do understand both sides. If it doesn't make sense to me, I'll say, I get what you're saying, but this is how it looks, or whatever it is. But the point is, it's important for us to be a peacemaker. It takes a lot of strength to be a peacemaker too. So, and also says, blessed are the ones that are, if you're a humble person too. Jesus is the one that walked on water. He healed the sick. He healed the paralyzed. He healed the ones that came with diseases, and they were coming all around just to see him, right, to get healing. And he still did not see himself as superior. He still sat down with them. He served them. He cleaned their feet. He humbled himself. He humbled himself, right? You can have all these great qualities, but the best quality is when someone's so kind, has a pure heart, and they humble themselves. Oh my gosh, that's a good quality to have. Where are they at? I mean, so that's so hard to, you know, especially nowadays with social media, people that it gets to them. It gets to their ego, pumps them up. You know, it's just, you got to humble yourself. You got to be grateful, because that can be taken away so fast. And you have to understand that the scripture is what defines you, not material things or external things. You know, you can't let those external things define you. And if you have those, are great, right? Those are great blessings, but that's not what defines me. It's your heart. He looks at your heart, how you are as a person, right? So I just love the scripture so much. So when we see the scripture saying, blessed are the poor, blessed are the ones that thirst and hungry, that means that's how he's seen them. He's describing how they were in their life at that moment. He's not saying you have to be poor to be blessed, or you have to be thirsty and hungry to be blessed. He's describing the people of how they were at that moment. And Jesus still humbled himself. He did so many miracles, and he still humbled himself. Don't ever think you're superior to anyone, right? How can you call yourself a Christian and you think you're better than somebody? That's not even right. I mean, that's just not right. I don't agree with that. You might not agree with someone's lifestyle, but at the end of the day, it's not for us to judge, because if you judge, you'll be judged in the same measure. You know, that's for them and God to deal with. I'm just a regular person, right? That loves the scripture. All right, bye friends.